Hey, this is Matt with PriceActionTradingSystem.com. Today is Friday, August 24th. Um, it's only about 2 o'clock today, but I'm going to do the chart lesson a little bit early. It's Friday. It's been a long week, and I'm ready to get out of here. And it's been we've had a really good trend today. And so I'm going to wrap this thing up, show you what I saw through about 1 o'clock today. And then we'll wrap it up. And actually, before I get going here, there's a short right there. I forgot to put that one on there, and I'll explain that in a minute. Um, but let me show you what happened yesterday. This is left over. Here was our trend. Our trend line was right down. If you remember our trend line from yesterday, if you just in case you didn't, that was our trend line from yesterday, basically. Right down through there, and then we had the break, and look what happened. We had a couple of legs down to a new low, then we made a double bottom. So you should have been thinking that we were, remember, if you listened to yesterday, I told you we'd probably, turn back down and make a new low for the day, and that's exactly what happened. We turned, it didn't happen until today because we ran out of time yesterday, but we made a couple of few, it's really, I would say it's leg one and then leg two, and then we had a little failed break lower and then made a double bottom, and that's what will happen a lot of times. So there's your two legs down with the failed break, and then once you made this double bottom, especially when you started overlapping and broke out, that's a failed break lower, it's a double bottom, it's a bounce off the low of the overnight, bounce off the overnight lows. And so this is always, worth trying to get a scalp out of. But if you took this trade, um, your runners should have been good here as well. Mine were. And actually, I take that back. Let me see if I still think your runners should have been good. Even if you entered above this bar, but everybody's bar might be a little bit different. But that's 96.75. Yeah, your runner should have survived if you traded this properly. If you exited on that little pullback, then you were out of the trade anyway. But I just bought this down here on the break lower, right above these closes, one tick above it. And so I was long from the low of the day here. Then we had a second entry long off the EMA. It's a breakout pullback long. Another breakout pullback long. It was a little iffy selling this short after that huge move up, and really what happened is I don't quite understand it. I haven't looked at the news to see what they're going to say, but they usually don't get it right anyway. But for some reason there was a huge sell-off in the dollar, and that caused this rally. But just as quickly as it sold off, it recovered, and prices are right back where they started on the dollar. So I don't know if the ES is going to finish off. My guess is we're going to finish off somewhere in here. It's Friday afternoon. But anyway, I just thought it was interesting that we suddenly had this huge sell-off in the dollar. But you don't want to be trading off that anyway. But that's just, I look at other markets, and I know that the dollar a lot of times is correlated to, or the indexes are correlated to the dollar. But this shouldn't have been a surprise. We had the trend line break, a couple of legs down to a new low, and then we've been rallying all day. We broke the trend line right here, and look what happened. Two legs up to a new high, and then look at the sell-off that went all the way below the EMA. So that's exactly what you would expect to see, after this trend line break. And this trend line break's pretty obvious, or this trend line's pretty obvious up through here. If you drilled off those first two bars right there, it was pretty obvious all the way up. And of course, where do your best entries occur? On pullbacks to the EMA or the trend line, and that's what we had all day. You could have taken this one, but by this time this is the reason I didn't mark any trades in here, because let me show you this. Here's leg one, and look, there's leg two. We pretty much had a measured move. So you're getting long at the highs if you wait till in here. And I know it's tempting after every time it pulled back, it goes higher. Then it's tempting. If you entered here, you still wouldn't have got out. But you know, that's why you wouldn't want to enter there, because hey, you've got you got your first leg up, and then there's your second leg, and that's too close. I mean, even if we're going to go up here and touch this, you know, there's not but a couple of ticks higher that you could ask for. So it's not worth entering up here. You're better off to wait for a trap of some kind. And then we got it. We broke. This just was a little trading range. We broke lower, but this is the first break of the trend line. So you're looking for a reason to get long, and you could have gone long right here, but with all those overlapping bars, it was better to wait on this failed second entry short that gave us a better second entry long, and then it was off to the races again. We moved up, and I didn't know if we were going to go higher from here or not, but when we had that little trap right there, it was worth entering again right here, and then that was the end of it. And you should have been exiting up here. I made a mistake thinking that we might I was looking for another target up here, and I was just flat wrong on that target, and I let it take back about half of this move right here before I decided to exit, and that was a dumb idea. What could have been a good day could have been a better day, but you can't look back. We make those mistakes sometimes, and that was just a mental thing. And you know, if you look here, you see the two measured legs, and I don't have anybody to blame but myself for being greedy, and that's what happens to you in trading. The fear and greed get you, and you see we actually overshot that right there. I had my target about 2 ticks higher right here, and I was just getting greedy. And really the reason I had that target 2 ticks higher was because I was looking for a target off of that move, and you can see I was looking for prices to go to there, and it looked like they were going to do it, and I just shouldn't have been greedy. I should have moved my stop up right here. But this thing started selling off, and it just couldn't muster up anything till we got down here, and it still couldn't do much. But that's because the dollar's rallying now. And so, I mean, that's what happens to you in trading. You either get scared, and you're scared to enter long on these pullbacks, or you're, you know, you're getting greedy, and you're trying to get too much, and that's really what I did here. I got greedy and tried to get too much, and I mean, it still was a good trade. Don't take me wrong, still, but I gave half of it back, hoping for it to go up there to that target when I should have realized, hey, we had a trend line break and 2 measured legs, and that was it. You know, so I should have exited there. But let's talk about these trades. We already talked about that one. This is a breakout pullback long, second entry long. This is a second entry long, a pullback to the trend line, another breakout pullback long, and then we broke above the next high, and that's just another breakout pullback long. And you know, it's all reversing right off that trend line. And then finally we got up here and we made a little double kiss of the upper trend channel line, just like we did here, and then you look for a correction. And again, the reason, you know, you got to be leery about entering right here is because we just came off of this side. We've just had 2 measured legs up. Not quite. The measured leg would have been a couple of ticks higher, but that's close enough. And then when we got a double top, you could have shorted that, but that's the first break of the trend line, so it's not wise to short because you don't know that we'd only get 1 tick and then take off again. It would have worked for a short, but that's, you know, that's not a great short. The first time you really had a good short was up here. And that's because you had the break of the trend line and 2 legs up to a new high, and you know that most of the traders saw that because look at that huge sell-off. So somebody recognized that this was going to be the high and took advantage of it, and because I was in the long, I was not being as leery as I should about what maybe. I wasn't looking at the bigger picture. I was just watching my, you know, my trade go and my prices, and I'm thinking my target's up here, hang tight, don't let them shake you out. And I should have let them shake me out today. And but next time I'll get out and prices will go right where you think they do. So it's, you know, it's better just to tighten your stop and let the market tell you what's going to happen. And normally I do that, but I just didn't do it right here. I left my stop down here at break even and just let it go, and shouldn't have. But anyway. That's pretty much it for today, and we're around 10 minutes, so I'm going to wrap it up. I'll leave that there in that position just so you can get a quick look at it again, and you can go back and watch the video as much as you want or pause it and look at my chart. But let me back out just a little bit. And again, you notice the best entries were second entry longs during 2-legged pullbacks, and that's what you got all day long. Um, so you got to learn to find these trend lines, these trend channels, and trade accordingly. And even after the first break, you still got to be thinking long. And it was really hard for me to take this long right here because there's not a lot of room left. Um, and you got all this overlap, but that's a failed second entry short right there. That's a two-legged pullback to the EMA. But look, that's the first time prices got below it since early this morning, and all the movement's been up. That's the first break of the trend line. If you just follow the rules and trust it, sometimes you'll still be wrong, but for the most part, you'll get it right by doing that. So learn to follow the rules. Learn to learn that once you get that trend line break, you still got to look for two legs up to a new high and stay with it. But I'm going to wrap it up. This is Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com. Hope you had a good trading week. Hope you have a better weekend, and I'll see you to Monday.